Thank you for tuning into our podcast, Canal Days, what life was like in the industrial Connecticut River Valley of Massachusetts. I am your host, Carrie, and joining us today is Holyoke's very own local historian and creator of the historical tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Kodimoh. He personally offers and leads public and private tours as well as presentations of historical sites throughout the state of Massachusetts. Currently, the communities he has chosen to focus on this year are Holyoke, Chicopee, South Hadley, and East Hampton, and also Granby and Amherst as well. His tours spotlight on the local canals, reservoirs, cemeteries, and churches, as well as various parks, streets, and selected historical houses within each community. In today's episode, we will be discussing the Kodimoh Synagogue and Kodimoh Cemetery in West Springfield and West Springfield. So tell us the history of the Kodimoh Synagogue of Springfield.
All right, this synagogue also started in Springfield, like all the others, but one difference that's distinct from this one and all the other 6 Jewish synagogues is that they started in the Forest Park Heights neighborhood right away. And all the other 6 started in the North End neighborhood of Springfield and then moved down here. And so that's really different. Now, in 1916, they started up and they were in homes. And then finally, in 1823, they got their own location on their own. That was 7 years after they started up. And that was on Oakland Street. The building is still there. And like usual, a Jewish synagogue wants to start up a cemetery, and they did that also out in West Springfield. Okay, but like all the others, almost all the Jewish cemeteries, they moved. Whether they started in North End or whether they started at Forest Park, they ended up moving. But this one didn't move very far at all. In fact, it stayed in Forest Park close by and moved to a location on Sumner Avenue. And that was in the year 1960. In the year 2007, they joined forces with some others, and we're going to talk about that next. But also we're going to talk about along the way their cemetery and some of the burials that happened in the cemetery.
And what has become of this synagogue?
All right, as of the year 2007, the Beth Israel, the Kesser Israel, and the Kodimoh cemeteries, or congregations, I'm sorry, have all joined forces. And they are now under the name Congregation B'nai Torah. And they're out in Long Meadow now at the former home of B'nai Jacob. And so that is Kodimoh. It was in 2 locations, and then it moved and merged into a 3rd location. So it's been around a long time, and sure you could say it's still around. I could say that it's just joined for the better.
And quickly, before we continue with our interview, just to fill our listeners in, for more information or to sign up for various tours, check out his website at holyokecanaltour.org. And there you can find videos and podcasts of the stops along each of his tours, as well as photos and text of the historical sites throughout as well. And for private tours and other inquiries, you can email him directly at bobcat4214, capital B, @yahoo.com. And his tours make for fun, educational, outdoor activities for families and group parties. So getting back to our interview, tell us about the Congregation Kodimoh Cemetery in West Springfield.
Yes, this is a cemetery of 1 of 4 in a row out in West Springfield, all adjacent to each other. The Kodimoh probably was the last one in of the 4. It has a plot that is the 4th one in. It's the one most towards the right. It's very dangerous to exit from its main entrance, so make sure you go out to the back section to exit. Now, in this Kodimoh Cemetery, there's a lot of cool features. It's a lot of empty land still, so they have a lot of room to grow. Now, even though they merged under B'nai Torah, anyone in those 3 merged congregations can be buried in any one of the 3 cemeteries. But I bet most of the families of deceased will choose where they have been going to Jewish synagogue for the last 100 years or so. And so still Kodimoh is going to be filled up with burials. Now, within it, they have a couple nice memorial stones. My favorite row in the whole cemetery is towards the left of the entrance gate, but the second row in. And you have some very instructive stones there. And some are only Hebrew, some in English and Hebrew, but there's a couple of memorial ones there.
And tell us about Weber and Goldstick.
Okay, these two young men died during the course of World War II. All right, and Harold Weber died June 6, 1944, during the course of the Allied invasion of the Normandy beaches in France. And his body was brought back here, and his stone is in that second row to the left, like I told you about. And he has a little footstone type of stone, also besides the very large headstone. The other person is Isidore Goldstick, was a corporal during World War II, and he died April 24th, 1942. He was in the Army Air Force during the course of that war, and he died during action, and he was brought back here too. And he also has a memorial footstone in front of him. So this is a very nice touch they've done to this cemetery, make a little memorial section for themselves. It is a small cemetery, so there's not going to be many people that died during the course of wars, but they've gone to such an extent to make it very nice there.
And thank you, Robert, for educating us on your tours and historical topics of your expertise. And we want to thank our listeners for tuning in. And check out a large selection of our other podcasts at his website and as well as on SoundCloud.com. And be sure to stay up to date with new podcasts and videos posted daily. Thank you, and hope you join us again.